Hi, this is Natalie Lander, voice of Kinsey, Tara Branford, Stargirl, and many others. You are listening to a W2M Net podcast. You can visit W2Mnet.com for other podcasts about entertainment, video games, sports, and wrestling. You are listening to Video Games to the Max.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Video Games to the Max. I am your host, Sean Garmer, and here with me, as always, Mr. Marc Morrison.
Howdy.
And well, this has been another week in video games. I think one that a lot of people were not maybe one thing that was expected, but not the other thing that we're certainly going to talk about today. I'm pretty sure all of you, if you pay attention to anything gaming in the last week, know what I'm referring to. Of course, Microsoft's made a huge deal, and I mean huge. Like, Disney didn't even pay this much for Star Wars, $7.5 billion to acquire Bethesda, who had apparently been looking for a suitor for a while. And
No, not just Bethesda, ZeniMax itself.
Well, ZeniMax itself, but, you know, all of Bethesda and ZeniMax's studios in one fell swoop, taking Microsoft from 15 studios to 23 now. And then, of course, the rage that ensued and also total debate as to that we're still going on now, even though it feels like Phil Spencer has gone out of his way to, without directly saying it, giving you a bit more clarity on the situation as to what that means for your favorite games from those studios going forward. And we'll talk about that. But, well, we might still be coming to you around the same time we do on Saturdays. We're doing this in the morning time. So, yes, I know that there's been a Zelda Age of Calamity thing. And
yeah, they showed like a small direct or trailer about it, but it's who cares?
Yeah, they showed off a bunch of characters. I mean, hey, I'm sorry if you're a huge Zelda Age, that you're looking forward to that. Hyrule Warriors 2, basically. Not going to talk about it on here because I haven't had the time to watch it this morning. So, but yeah, we'll talk about other stuff for sure. I will say I pre-ordered a Xbox Series X, so off Amazon, and
then you got
basically because Amazon and Best Buy did a smart thing. I think Amazon's turned out better than Best Buy's. Amazon and Best Buy waited a whole hour after the initial rush at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. They actually released theirs at 12, and that allowed me to get it on Amazon because the Microsoft site kept going down. I'd put something in my cart and it would go away, and put something in my cart again and go away. Well, I tried to do the all access, basically didn't work at all for no one. I don't know anybody that was able to get something on all access. I think it was a stupid way to do it too, where I went halfway through on Gamestop and then their whole thing for the credit check crashed. So
that's cool.
It's like, I just don't, for me, I don't understand this thing where you put something in your cart and it doesn't lock it. It's still available to other people. I don't get that, where this is a thing that takes a process. If you're going to allow people to be able to press that button and lock it in your cart, you should be able to let them go through the whole process, and they purchase it. You take that away from the availability. I just don't, this online system is weird. And then, PS5s went on pre-order again through GameStop. I tried for that. That was insanity. Turns out it actually wasn't even the PS5. It was like a bundle that cost almost $800. I was like, nope, I don't need an extra controller. I don't need some other thing that they had there. I mean, Demon's Souls and Miles Morales, that's pretty good gets, as far as, getting those two games at launch for the system.
GameStop always does, console, release bundles and stuff like that. I mean, at least it was, the official controller. It wasn't some, PDP
Gamestop
knockoff or some
version.
or whatever their branded controller or whatever.
Yeah, it just like, I think it's good that they do that thing where they're trying to kill some of the bots with that loading screen that makes you wait. But I feel like it's just even more annoying than just letting it happen normally. But I don't know. I feel like the easiest thing to solve some of this would be to offer some kind of two-step authentication or something that would at least make the bots have to think, like, you have to put in some real thought into making those bots.
Yeah, but I hate the captchas that are like, here's
oh no, that's
photos.
Terrible. The ones on PayPal.
Well, I don't know if PayPal does it, but some sites do. It's like, here are 20 images, pick like the 10 that have trees, and it's like you pick the 10. It's like, this isn't the right one. It's like,
at least on mobile, PayPal does that, and it's like every time I log in, I'm like, oh my god, this is so annoying. Come on.
It's like, which one didn't have tree?
And it still counts the ones that are like, a tree is partially in that image too.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, thanks. We don't need to make this more complicated.
Right.
But whatever. And then of course Amazon sent out the same email that you got for the PS5, which is, hey,
like, no guarantees.
No guarantees you're going to get it on launch day. It also feels like no guarantee. It's like, just in case you don't get it for like a couple of weeks as well, you can't get mad at us. Like, if we actually go through the initial stock and, you don't get it until the next time there's stock, well, we told you that might happen.
They would never do it, but they should literally have like a unit number tracker. So you're going to say, like, we got 1 million units. You're number 440,000, 500, something like that. I mean, that'd be great, but they'll never do it.
What do you think about, I was reading an article, Dan Stapleton wrote a pretty good article on IGN about, things we could do to make this pre-ordering process better. Like, what do you think about doing the Apple thing? Where you get pre-orders, but you're just getting a pre-order and you already know that there's not a necessarily guarantee that you're getting the launch one, but you'll get one within a certain time frame.
I mean, think about like the original Xbox One. Like, some people wanted that launch edition because it had that stupid achievement, or it had like different branding on it. So I don't think that would necessarily work.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, I wonder if maybe, the next time there's a go around for this, and whenever the next consoles come out, do we do that where, like, okay, you'll get one. It may not be the launch one, but maybe you'll get it in a couple of weeks, a couple of months, but so you don't have to go around trying to hunt at every freaking store available.
If anything, that's the wrong direction. What we should do is look to the past and have to line up in front of a Best Buy for 20 hours beforehand.
Oh, didn't you see the people for GameStop that like camped out the night before? And there was 3 at some of these, and there was a line of 10 people that stayed there all night. Like, I mean,
that's
awful. It's I don't know that was the smartest thing, but yeah, I mean, some people got their pre-orders, so
right.
Yeah, we'll see how many people actually get them, how much stock actually comes in, and then people get told, oh, well, you're also not going to necessarily get the launch one, but you'll get one.
Well, as long as there's not like a difference between like the launch edition and like the regular one, that's more or less fine.
Yeah, but I mean, you know how some people are. I think that's also why like Amazon put that thing at the bottom where they said, well, if you're mad that you may not get a launch one, you can cancel. And there probably is people that are rather upset about that. But yeah. Yep. So, yeah, I didn't, like I said, I should mention I tried with Best Buy. Their access thing never worked at all. It went up as soon as the time hit, and then it just never worked. The link didn't work at all. So there's a lot of, I mean, it seemed like their site just died the minute that they decided to put something up. So
that happened with the PS5 also, because I kept trying to add a console there, and it kept saying like, "Oh, we have them in stock," but then you couldn't.
Yeah, or due to high demand, we can't add this to your cart.
Yeah,
it's like, okay. Yeah, I get it why they don't want to waste a bunch of money for like a one-time event that's only going to happen every, 5 to 7 years. 7 years, or well, maybe 3 if we're going into the pro editions every time. But
I really hope they don't do a pro edition this time, because that was that.
Oh, I think you know it. Like, if they did it once, they're going to do it again because people bought them. And at the end of the day, that's just all they get to do is say, we sold this many PS5s. I mean, they can, and a lot of times they don't even have to tell you that they sold this many PS4 Pros and PS4s, and like, they just jumble it all together. So, But, yeah, so there's my, pre-order thing. Randy told me he got one as well. Like, I was trying to go for the all access thing so it wouldn't be as much, but I was like, you know what? I guess that's why a credit card exists, so just pay it little by little and just go ahead and get it, whatever.
At least you got the correct one, I guess.
Yeah, I thought about it, but I was just like, I think that, and one of the things we're going to talk about as well, might as well go ahead and talk about it, is, since we're on the Xbox topic, is one of the controversies that happened this week is the Microsoft released how much their storage card is going to cost, which the Microsoft One at this moment, even though Phil Spencer did say that they will have different incarnations of the card, so there'll be one with probably like 500, there'll probably be one with 2 terabyte, there'll probably be one with, maybe 250, something like that, that will obviously be cheaper, and he did say that there will be others that will get in line and make those, so perhaps the price will go down. But right now, Sony doesn't even have, they haven't come out and said, okay, we're supporting these. There's, the one that supposedly Samsung came out with, like, just recently, apparently cost $230. The Microsoft one costs $220. So just get ready, these SSDs are going to be expensive if you want to upgrade your memory. And, like, for me, I just want to know, there's rumors going around that this process is not going to take very long. It's not as fast as when you try to transfer something over your computer, but, that you can use the external drives that you may already have with your Xbox or your PS4 and just plug that in. Of course, you can play your other games off of it, the older games, but you can use that as just cold storage and then transfer over, which would take considerably less time than deleting and reinstalling later.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not spending $220 on getting another terabyte of storage. I mean, I think it's cool that they can be swapped in and out. So it's not like the PS5 or the PS4 was where it's inside, it's internal. Well, that's all you had at certain points.
That was way easier than you can do that with the Xbox One, but it's way harder.
No, yeah, it's really not, they don't want you to do that. That's why they made the external, remember Xbox had external storage way before PS5 did because they didn't really want you to mess with the system. They were like, here, just plug this in and do it. Sony, of course, ever since the PS3 has made it where,
the original, the 360 had that funky, stupid connector, and you can't just buy a hard drive and slap it.
Yeah, it had to be their hard drive, which
people got around eventually, and even so did I, but it's still annoying.
Yeah, it was. I think people were. It's like this whole week has proven that people just like to argue about stuff that a lot of times we don't really need to argue about. Like, use common sense here. You don't have to buy this NVMe. I think obviously it's a bigger deal if you bought the S because you're probably only going to get 450 gigs of storage. Right? So that's going to fill up pretty quick.
Did they even say that the S has that capability?
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing it doesn't have is it doesn't have a disk drive. And it doesn't do 4K.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still has that slot in the back.
I mean, like I've always said, though, you'll need that slot. Or you'll need that stuff for, certain games for sure.
Yeah, that's exactly why I didn't want to do it, because I was like, oh my god, I have to buy... I mean, I have a 4 terabyte drive that it's open, basically. That one that I accidentally did the stupid Windows install on, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna not use this thing, and I'll just use it for the Xbox when I get it to store games in. and then if I want to transfer stuff over to it, I can, or whatever from the other one that I have on my Xbox One. So I'm also thinking about whether I want to trade that thing in or not, but I don't know if I'll get anything for it. So knowing GameStop, you'll get like $50 for a system.
I thought, well, I mean, you could probably get maybe 75, but I would say if you don't really need it, I mean, eBay or Craigslist or whatever, Facebook Marketplace, you could probably at least get 100 for it.
Maybe. Who knows? But, yeah, so that's one of the things that was something going on with that pre-order, because obviously that native will have to question about. I saw people saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and delete my pre-order. I don't want this because this memory card costs too much money." And I was like, I was like, okay, like you don't have to buy it, but sure, you know, whatever floats your boat, like, or saying, "Oh, this is why Microsoft could charge $300 for the S, because they knew you're gonna pay it back to them in this memory card." It's like, no, this isn't a Vita situation where you have no other option. It's like they're giving you other options. It's just not the fast one. So it kind of sucks in that way. Like you do have to spend a little bit of time transfer back and forth, but it's not the like hours and hours and hours that it would take if you were just downloading everything again. Of course, the bigger thing is what I mentioned at the top. Microsoft buys ZeniMax. I mean, what do you think? Like, I woke up to the news. Like, where were you? What were your first thought?
I woke up a few hours after that, probably. Like,
oh, really?
I mean, it's interesting because they're probably like one of the bigger Western developers out there, for sure, or publishers, I should say now. I mean, most of those companies are fine. I was laughing about Bethesda because like they're not exactly a fast developer. Like they came out with like 2 games this cycle, and neither of them were really good. Like really. So like expect to see Starfield in like 2023 and Elder Scrolls 6 in like 2026 or something.
Yeah, I mean, and I wouldn't go nuts about, oh my god, a lot of these games are not going to come out for a while. I mean, and the ones that are going to come out, like Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop, they're timed exclusive, or the Deathloop's a timed exclusive for PS5, and that's not going away. And then also, the Ghostwire Tokyo will be on PS5.
Well, I mean, I don't know if Ghostwire was supposed to ever be completely exclusive, but like, yeah, let's say it's timed, like, a year from now after they pump out some DLC, they'll release a Ghostwire Complete Edition on the Xbox Series X. Here you go.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think this is obviously great for Microsoft. I think, getting to now have these studios there, a lot of people were making the comment of, oh, you could have a Fallout New Vegas 2 now because you have Obsidian and Bethesda. Even if they were to make that, it's not going to come out very soon. So
also, like, I don't think Obsidian wants to. They have the Outer Worlds to deal with, and
Avowed and Grounded, and
if they want to, I mean, also like New Vegas, it had good writing, but like it was a technical mess, especially on like the consoles. So I wouldn't particularly want them to make another New Vegas personally.
Yeah, I think the biggest deal is like, I think that's one of the things that's gonna be better about this, is maybe Microsoft being there. I know Microsoft, they're saying Microsoft's gonna kind of leave them independent and let them do their thing, but I think that's maybe something that you having that other, at some point, I think you still have to kind of go a little bit through Microsoft to be like, okay, what do y'all think about this? There's gonna be an extra hand that gets put on something, maybe says, hey, you can't, especially if maybe you release that first one and there is a lot of problems. Maybe that's where Microsoft kind of tightens the belt a little bit after that and goes, hey, you can't release games like that. Especially I think after Microsoft had the problem with Master Chief Collection, where they went through that chaos that was the entire thing of that game. Like, basically, after the game came out, they just spent all the time in the world making the multiplayer have to work for all those games. So, you know, and knowing Bethesda's history as well with the jank and all that, I wonder if maybe that's something that will improve having a cooperation from Microsoft there, or they really are going to leave them autonomous and you get that as well. You get your traditional Bethesda stuff. I think this is good for like the smaller studios too, like Arcane. You know, This helps them. They get more money put into their products. You know, like,
well, unless Microsoft forces them to like have to battle it out and say, you know, Arcane, id, fight for the money.
Right. What do you think about a possible Doom and Halo thing as well? With that.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Bring back Unreal Championship.
That'd be cool. It used to be a big Xbox thing.
No, that's Epic. So
yeah, it's Epic.
Sorry.
Yep.
I mean,
Quake. They do get Quake. Yeah. That's already up on Game Pass. Speaking of Game Pass, Doom Eternal is going to be on Game Pass October 1st. So, hey, there's another game that came out this year I can play now.
I mean, I was thinking about because the reason they can do this is Microsoft has huge, deep pockets, and like, what can Sony do to like counter this? And my only three ideas were SEGA, if not buying out SEGA, like, you know, co-partnering or something.
Yeah.
Capcom, and that's more likely because, you know, Sony already finances like half of Capcom shit anyway. Or Square.
Yeah, I think Capcom or Square would be more likely. Also, Capcom, we're seeing them do a lot of stuff with Nintendo too, so there's that. Although Square Enix does benefit from being multi-platform right now, as does Capcom,
yeah,
but, you know.
But, you know, a lot of that stuff is like, you know, they're putting shit on the Xbox just because. It's not like, you know, stuff still comes to the PS, or to Sony consoles first because of the, you know, lineage.
Oh, certainly, but I mean, like we're seeing with Final Fantasy 16, it's exclusive again for a whole year, like Remake was, and like Remake will continue to be, I guess, for the next iterations of that.
Right.
So, you know, I think definitely if there was a company that might consider it, Square Enix with Sony, but I just don't think Sony would do it. I don't think they need to. I think that was also Microsoft admittedly knowing, like, other than Hellblade 2, you don't have anything that jumps out the page right now from their new studios. And even then, we've talked about this ad nauseum, but like, Gears is not what it used to be. Credit to them for trying to do things with Gears Tactics. Halo, we still don't know how that's going to come out after the delay. So, like, there's a lot of question marks, you know?
Yeah.
And I think this really helps, like, this, obviously, it was a good idea by Microsoft. Oh, let's put this out the day before the pre-orders go live so you get people that buy the X and S that would not have at all, you know? So, yeah, I think this really helps Microsoft in that now you have proven studios. Well, are the games going to come out anytime soon? Not really, but they're there when they come out, right? I don't know. What do you think about those rumors of Microsoft did say they are looking at other studios as well, and I feel like a Japanese studio is really missing.
Yeah, but I also don't think a Japanese studio would go to them unless it was like super indie or, you know, just no one cares about them. Like, it's not like...
Maybe not. Like, if Microsoft's paying you a bunch of money, it's not like you can't buy an Xbox in Japan.
Yeah, but no one does.
No one does because they don't have a reason to, but if you give them a reason to, they might.
Oh, they tried, and then even then, it didn't do well. Like, you know,
but it's
Dragon
one... Right, I understand what you're saying.
Like, what are the only company I could think of would be like Platinum, and they're for damn sure not going to go with Microsoft.
No, Platinum's not doing that after Tencent put money into them. I think the only one that could possibly is SEGA. And
yeah, but I think I think they still have too much loyalty to like Sony. I mean, think about like Persona.
Well, plus, we don't even know if there's contracts there where they could actually do it, you know.
Right.
But like, I think certainly, I feel like that would be the only. Yeah, I mean, other than them grabbing Konami and getting those IPs and getting to make games.
Yeah, I mean that's not a game company buy. That's just a IP purchase at that point. It's
if you're getting some of those people and you bring in people that are familiar with those games and making more of those, games and those IPs, that's not a bad idea. But
I mean, even if Konami went with even if like Microsoft bought Konami, you're not going to get Kojima making a new Metal Gear game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're definitely getting that to be able to do what we saw happen with Metal Gear Solid, releasing your old games on Gamepass, and as they showed up on PC again.
Well,
this week,
at least a few of them.
Yes, a few of them, which was the first one, the original Metal Gear from the Nintendo.
Metal Gear Solid, and Metal Gear Solid 2, Subsistence. No, Substance, sorry. And the funny thing is, I mean, Metal Gear is old enough so it doesn't matter, but Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, they have some, gnarly-ass PC controls.
Yeah.
Definitely. Metal Gear Solid 2, I looked at the GOG page, because it's only on GOG, too, or else I would actually bought it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't have anything against GOG, personally, but I just don't use it that often, so I just forget about it. But, Metal Gear Solid 2's controller scheme was most gamepads can work, except for the PS4 one. Also, you can't assign commands, or you can't assign inputs to the Xbox 360 or Xbox One triggers. And it's that is 99% of gamepads. It's not
Yeah.
Those are the PS4.
Well, I mean, they could also internally go in and fix that. I mean, it's not.
No, they can't. Because that's all, Metal Gear Solid 2 at least was 2003, and that was before X input existed, which is what those the Xbox controllers at least use. So they can't do that. There are a few games like Tony Hawk 2, Pro Skater 2, and Devil May Cry 3 that have some really fucked up controller issues because of that stuff. Because the triggers are analog and not digital, and the games freak out when they try to figure out what to do with that.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, because I would like to play Metal Gear Solid 2 on PC, but I don't have to buy some Logitech controller to get it to work.
No, I definitely don't. But I mean, I feel like if you were going to put that on Game Pass, they're going to make sure that...
Oh, if they put it on Game Pass, they'll use the Xbox version.
Yeah, well, that's
Although
true.
you can't do that with PS1, or the Metal Gear Solid 1, because that never came to an Xbox.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they'd have to figure out a way to make it work with those controllers, because a lot of people are using them at that point.
I mean, all the buttons are there, but they just have to put in some of the work. But also there's no one at Konami to do that. It'd be on Microsoft's part if they actually cared, and they don't.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Can't. That's also just completely, hypothetical.
Yeah.
As well, but yeah. I mean, it's good that stuff showed up on GOG, and also just who knows if Microsoft's talking to anybody else. But I'd imagine they would have announced it at the same time if they were in advanced talks. So we'll see, or if that's just them saying that.
No. No, because they didn't. This wasn't advanced. It was a complete surprise. So.
Well, but you don't just decide one day, hey, here's $7.5 billion. The next day you announce it. This is something they've been talking about for a while. I mean,
oh sure, but it didn't leak. There's basically no. I mean, there's one or two speculative rumors, but nothing substantial or substantive about the talk finally happened. There's some Michael Pachter rumor 2 years ago about that, but it's not believe me, the talks didn't last for 2 years.
I'm trying to figure out what some of these, because they also bought some other studios that I'd never heard of, this Alpha Dog Games that apparently they just make a bunch of mobile stuff, and what is this, Roundhouse Studios? Yeah. I mean, obviously the big ones, we talked about with getting Doom already on Game Pass, and now all the Bethesda games that were Dishonored 2 was leaving, and now they're now it's gonna be staying. Apparently Roundhouse used to be Human Head Studios.
Yeesh. They can get that Prey 2 game that, you know.
Oh, they did they did Ruin 2, which was the last. Yeah. Prey 2 is the one they, like you said, they canceled. So.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh my God, they worked with Square on The Quiet Man.
Yep, that was a big winner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why it's like a smaller studio that's getting bought. Not all of them are going to be, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I could see some of those
super winners.
Some of those smaller ones getting kind of cast by the wayside.
Yeah. Or maybe they just partner them with others to do other things.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I guess the controversy surrounding it was, does this mean that the games are exclusive to Xbox going forward? What say you?
I would say Xbox and PC.
Well, yes, but I'm talking about, will these games, outside of the ones that have already been announced, and obviously the online ones that have to have continued support, games outside, you know, that are coming in the future, will they show up on PS5?
No. Not unless, like, there's a huge problem with the Xbox One sales, or the Series X sales, and they, like, need to be. Because I'm sure they have, like, I'm sure, you know, Bethesda can give them a sales breakdown and go, this is how much each version of Skyrim sold on each console. And if it's like a huge skew towards the PS4, then I could see them maybe doing it. But I would say Bethesda's about the only one that would. Like Bethesda and maybe Arcane.
Yeah, I could see them with the older games, like, if you're gonna let them support Skyrim again, while people are waiting for Elder Scrolls 6, go ahead and let that go on PS5. It's an old game, like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But
it'll still make money also.
Yeah, exactly. It's an old game you can just make a bunch of money off of. Now, let's say that these games, like, sell extremely well, right? A Starfield, I guess, would be the next one in that vein.
That's the next in the slot.
Yeah, because, you know, Fallout 6 ain't coming anytime soon, or Fallout, what is it, 5? And Elder Scrolls 6 is not coming anytime soon either. So, do you think if it sells extremely well and people clamor enough for it that maybe Sony makes a deal? But obviously, the difference would be you're paying $70 on a PS5, or you just pay the $15 for Game Pass. You know, and that's a win for Microsoft as well. Like, you now don't have to pay the full game price for these games that, you know, we're seeing at launch are costing an extra $10. If Sony wants to have them, they gotta pay Microsoft a pretty penny, and then you also get to see the Xbox Game Studios logo on a Sony system, which is really weird. But I don't know. I feel like the reason why Phil Spencer is just saying the case-by-case basis is because if for some reason there is a deal that ever gets struck, somebody can't be like, well, you said they were going to be exclusive. I'm selling off my Xbox right now. Like,
fine, whatever. Like, I don't care about somebody doing that.
Okay.
Like,
you know, hey, we're making a bunch of money here. I don't really care. You know, and
like how many people are bitching about baseball being on the Xbox? Like, no one. You know, the show. And if they are, it's like, get a life.
Oh, well, no, that's because that's not Sony's fault. Like, that was Major League Baseball saying, no, we want our games on other systems. I'm
talking about, you know, console exclusives being forced. You know,
well, remember Horizon? Everybody made a big old stink about Horizon being on PC.
I didn't.
Well, you didn't, but I'm just saying, like, the hardcore fanboys that...
Yeah, I'm not an idiot like that, so... those people just need to get a life.
I mean, like, I get the point of, like, okay, I paid a bunch of money for this thing. I don't want to feel like I paid money for something and then these other companies... Like, here's the thing. Outside of the Series S, which again, you're paying $300 for a lesser product unless you don't care about 4K and you're also having to deal with the memory thing. Like, you're still paying $500 for a PS5 or $500 for a Series X. It's not like, and to get a gaming PC that everybody keeps talking about, oh my god, I went to PC. Like, you know how much money it costs to either buy a gaming PC or that can run most of those games or build one? Even more. So like, I don't ever get this whole thing of people bitching about, oh my god, this game went to PC. Oh my god, this game went over here. It's like,
it's because they just evangelize stuff too much. I mean, that's the issue.
I mean, like, I understand more the people that are upset about the Spider-Man thing, or the people that are upset about the games being on PS4 and PS5 than I do the whole, oh my god, why is this game on this? Why is this game on that? Like, you know, the Spider-Man thing, which, you know, since we're talking about it already, Sony and Insomnia decided to do a full ground up in quotations, remaster of, Marvel Spider-Man, the game that came out on PS4. That one also includes all the DLC, and you get it for paying $20 more for Miles Morales. It is apparently not going to be standalone. They say that now. I wouldn't be surprised if that does happen at some point.
I think it'll be standalone eventually, but I don't get, like they also said there's not going to be a physical copy, and that I believe.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll get released on the PSN store at some point, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 6 months to a year after, when nobody cares anymore.
Like Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, I think that was the one. Or maybe one of the other ones, where they had like Modern Warfare 1 remastered packed into it. No, that was, Infinite. That was
Infinite Warfare. Yeah.
But, they were like, oh, it's never going to be released separate, and then like a year later it's like, oh yeah, here it is.
Yeah, because nobody cares at that point, so go ahead. But
I saw some people getting upset about like, oh, it's not, you know, you just can't put in your PS4 copy and get it upgraded. It's like, yeah, like, no shit. It's also an slightly older game. Like, it's not
I think the thing is, the game came out 2 years ago. We're not talking about a game that came out 10 years ago. We're not talking about Witcher 3 that came out how long ago? You know, I feel like I kind of understand those people a little bit. When there's so many other publishers, I mean, Microsoft is Microsoft, right? But like, there's other publishers that are putting their upgrade out there for free. You know, like, I get that Sony upgraded the game. It's got all this stuff that wouldn't be possible in the PS4 version. And they're justified to make you pay $20 more, but for just a visual I feel like, why couldn't you make it available for people to just get the visual upgrade only for free?
Because it still costs money. Like, yeah. I mean, hell, Nintendo just put out a 3-pack of Mario games.
Wow, come on. Nintendo is they live in their own world, and we know that. It's like, I mean, if Nintendo was making Xenoblade, and not Monolith Soft, which that's their game and they have all this attachment to it, I wonder if they would have gone the route of making it a full remake like they did. I mean, and even then they cut corners. Like, it wasn't a full remake. It was, the characters look better, but the enemies look like they're still on the Wii.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah.
It just, gamers just want too much at this point. It's like, it's a game that's 2 years old. Like, I wouldn't expect it, and that's fine. Like, I'll still buy it, because I want to get the new Spider-Man game anyway, so, sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's fine. I think, there's a little bit of arrogance there, in that, hey, we're the market leader. You want Spider-Man with all the fixins on your PS5, you can pay $20.
Well, hey, it's not $60.
Well, it's not. They're still making you pay $70. I mean, yeah, but come on. That's ridiculous. Nobody's going to pay I mean, not nobody, but most people are not going to pay $60.
I mean, it's not going to be a $100 game or a $100 purchase. I mean, yeah, $70 for essentially 2 games. That's fine.
Yeah, no, I think that's fine. Like, I personally don't think that if you really did all of this work, which it makes sense because they use Spider-Man as the model for showing you what PS5 could do. I'm just saying, like, that's where Sony's at right now, right? When you're the market leader and Microsoft's doing all this stuff to be consumer friendly, And other publishers do the same. I mean, CD Projekt Red is also like, it's a bad comparison because they are super consumer friendly when they don't have to be. And they're still an indie studio, right? Like, so I think the people sometimes get confused as to a lot of these companies, number one, don't care about you the way you think they do. And some of that's also for PR purposes, right? Like, CD Projekt Red knows this helps them. Hey, if we give our old game for free, this might help more people want to go buy, Cyberpunk, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's all to get you feeling good about those companies and, you know, Sony getting knocked back, for that. But again, Sony don't care because they knew they were going to get backlash for it. They're not stupid. Like, and the thing is, they know there's going to be people that are going to pay that price. All these people that say, oh no, they're not going to do it at some point or another, because guess what? Miles Morales is going to go on sale. Sony games always go on sale. You could buy it then. You don't have to buy the $70 one at launch or whatever. So,
yeah. Well, I just still think it's dumb. Like, get a grip. Like, you know, every PS4 game is not going to have some PS5 upgrade path.
Well, I mean, I think it's also confusing too when if you buy the PS4 version, you do get the PS5 upgrade, right?
Yeah, but only for Miles, not for.
Yeah, no, yeah, only for Miles. That's. I think that's also part of it too. Is like, well, why only for Miles and not for Spider-Man as well? You know,
because they did shit to it, just like Persona 5 Royal. Like, it's not like you can't use your save file in Persona 5 Royal.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Tried, trust me.
Well, definitely, because they wanted you to have to play the game again. But I saw that you're waiting on that Persona 5 Blu-ray to show up.
Yeah.
Still.
It shipped out, so it'll probably be probably next Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, I just that's what this has been like this week of let's argue about stuff. Now, look, I think it's silly to me the amount of people that go, well, this is why I'm choosing Xbox this generation because now Sony's doing shit like this. It's like, okay, cool. That's why there's lines outside of a GameStop that are ridiculously way longer than they should be when they only have like 5 systems. Your talking on Twitter doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. So
especially since most of the people will suck it up and do it anyway.
No, that's exactly. They're not gonna do any of that. They're gonna buy their PS5 as well. Like, it's just like people just blowing air for no reason to be mad about nothing.
See, that's why I'm better, because my hatred at the Epic Game Store continues unabated, and I'll still never use it.
Well, that's whatever, you know. You can be upset sillily about the Epic Game Store, but we'll see how that goes. So speaking of games here that are exclusive, Final Fantasy XVI is right now a console exclusive for PS5, and according to Duration Schreier, of course now with Bloomberg, and he has a new podcast. It's pretty much very similar to the podcast he had with Kotaku, same people, Kirk Hamilton and Maddie Myers, except they're on the Triple Click podcast now. It's really good if you haven't heard of it or didn't know it existed. So he says that apparently, talking to people that have worked on the game, this game's been worked on for about 4 years, and it could really come out a lot sooner than people think. He doesn't mention a year per se, but I think that's why you started hearing people say maybe even as soon as next year.
Well, I said that.
Yeah, you said that as well, yeah. So it
it looked like it's far along. It's not just some opening cinematic or something, yeah.
Well, no, definitely, and I think they learned their lesson from 15 of you cannot have a game that took like 10 years to make, and then you have the ridiculous part of you couldn't even finish it or finish all the DLC for it because it was just eating money to keep doing stuff for it. So, and it also proves, I think, what, you know, a lot of people have said, and we talked about it, that there's they have two different things going on. They had Final Fantasy 16, they have your Final Fantasy 14 people doing Final Fantasy 14 stuff, and then they had people working on a remake. So That's good.
Here's an interesting question about the Spider-Man thing. Like, realistically, by the time they finish working on Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, the PS4 is going to be done. Because that's at least 3 years out, I would say, if not...
You think so? I think at least 2022 we'll see something.
Yeah. But do you think people are going to be bitching about, I'm sure they'll release like 2 different versions. Like, Final Fantasy VII Part 2, and then Final Fantasy VII Part 2 plus Part 1. And it'll be some PS5 upgraded version.
Well, of course, yeah.
So,
but I don't think it's gonna, you put it in the PS5 and it also upgrades the graphics because they're doing that for Final Fantasy VII Remake, the first part.
I don't think that at all.
I definitely think it's gonna upgrade. It won't. I think it's gonna upgrade. Like, I think the PS1, the 1 plus 2, if they do that, it'll be for people that only bought a PS5 and didn't have the PS4 version because they already said that they're doing upgrades for Remake Part 1. So what would be the point of anybody that already owns Remake Part 1 also buying the PS5 version? Unless you're gonna say that they're adding stuff to Remake Part 1 or making it some kind of seamless experience, or I don't know.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's what you think it is? Is they're gonna make it some kind of seamless experience where you play Part 1 and Part 2 together?
Yeah. It'll be like one disc, but you have to download like 30 gigabytes or whatever, whatever, however big it'll be, and like have fun.
I don't know. I think that the reason they're making them stand alone is because they're going to make them stand alone. And the only way that they'll do that is when they have finished all the parts they're going to make, and then maybe they do that. I don't know.
That'll be the PlayStation 6 launch edition.
You're not joking. That's probably what we're going to be at.
No, I'm really not.
Or whenever they do the PS5 Pro, it'll launch with that. No, I definitely think that really does make me think now, like you're saying, that definitely Remake Part 2 is not coming out this year. And next year, if they're positioning Final Fantasy 16 the way that they are, that was supposed to be their Final Fantasy single player thing for 2021. Yeah. And then we'll see after that if Remake Part 2, when that comes, or...
Yeah, I mean...
do they even make, if it takes that long, do they even make a PS4 version of that?
No, that's what I was saying.
Because, there's no point to it. Like, the PS4 is long gone at that point.
Yeah.
Or
it'll be so, if they do, it'll be so stripped down that people won't want it, or
Exactly, because I'm assuming that they're building this Part 2 only on PS5 at this point because they know how long it's going to take to come out. And they want to take advantage of the graphics because that's kind of part and parcel of why you're doing a remake in the first place. So, I don't know. It'd be really weird to me if they're coming out on...
I mean, if Remake 2 was had a 2021, it's coming out in March 2021 launch date, then yeah, it'd be a PS4 and PS5 game. But if it's going to come out in 2023, hell no.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. That'd be weird at that point. Speaking of another Square Enix game, the Nier Replicant, which is the Nier remake or remaster or whatever.
I think it's a remake, but yeah.
Nier Replicant version, whatever. I'm not counting those numbers. Is going to show up on this side of the pond, April 23rd, 2021. It's going to be Xbox One, PS4, and Steam, and I'm assuming that will also upgrade to the other systems. Weird that they're just going to put it out on those and not just go ahead and make it full PS5 and Series X as well. But
it'll probably come. But they probably just didn't have enough time, or this has been in development for fairly long, I think. I mean, like I said, it will eventually. Or they'll release some Nier double, two-pack, compare both games enhanced for both the new consoles.
Yeah, that's true too, possibly. It looked good.
Yeah,
it looks like it's using more of the style of Automata, so...
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
Jens didn't mention it, but I'm sure he's way excited for it. And it has Emil on the cover, and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, and how you and Jens are about Nier. So, and I mean, y'all have every right to be. It's a great series.
He liked the original game. Most people never played the original game, so I think most.
I have it, and I think I played like 10 minutes of it and didn't play it again. This was way before Nier Automata had come out, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. I mean, it's a game that it's a lot like Yakuza 0. Like, yes, Yakuza existed before that, and there were fans of it, sure, but 0 is the one that really sparked the interest over here, at least.
Yeah, it's true. Plus, it helps the awesome soundtrack of Nier Automata as well.
Yeah, I saw that they're releasing a new, I think it's an 8-hour soundtrack for Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Jesus.
And Jens is already like, I'm going to buy that.
Right?
It's like, yep, doesn't surprise me.
What else was I gonna go into? Oh, well, speaking of older games as well, Mass Effect Remaster is apparently coming. Jeff Grubb, who writes for
GamesBeat, I think, or
VentureBeat.
VentureBeat, same thing.
He posts a lot of he gets a lot of early information. So he's a really good follow on Twitter if you want to kind of find out some rumors and things like that. But they have several podcasts, and on the Xbox Expansion Pass podcast, he says that Mass Effect the remaster may not show up on Switch, but that it would be coming, and then he kind of, he basically said that Mass Effect was not one of the titles that, EA had said was going to be part of that 7 games or whatever. The thing is that if this is coming, I feel like still you're not releasing Mass Effect. Yeah, like if you're doing Mass Effect, I feel like you're going to be remaking Mass Effect almost. Because it plays differently than those other two games.
I don't think you would. I think they said also that one of the problems is Mass Effect 1 has like a bunch of weird shit in it. But I think that's what appeals to a lot of the fans is a vocal minority of fans that don't like how Mass Effect 2 and 3 play because they are so different.
Right.
I like how Mass Effect 1, it was interesting, at least. Mass Effect 2 and 3 are just kind of bog standard shooters. Mass Effect 1 has a bunch of just goofy shit in it.
It has a more RPG.
Well, it has a whole armor and weapon system that are just I have rank 6 gun and I picked up rank 7, and it's okay. There's no stats or anything. It's just all right, the number's higher, so or the stupid Mako. It's
the basic RPG thing of it's a bigger number, so you should get that one.
Yeah. Well, it's also compare. How big of a Mass Effect fan are you? Or did you like them or play them?
I have the games. I played a little bit of 1, and then I was like, oh my god, this is too much. So, I don't have time.
The funny thing is compare, Mass Effect fans will know this. Compare, the Citadel, the main, space station area, and Mass Effect 1 to 2 and 3. It is, so huge in the first game, they become lost. And, 2 and 3, it's, 7 small little areas, and that's it. But in 1, it's so gargantuan. It makes zero sense, but it makes it feel like much more of an actual place than in 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And also those games are all at least the first one is all, well, they all are, but they're all Unreal Engine games. And I guess porting that to the new engine, Unreal Engine, is kind of difficult.
Yeah, it could be. I think the thing is I think it's cool that this is coming. I just think people need to, don't hate on it if it's not everything you wanted. At least you're getting those games.
They also said that the multiplayer will be stripped out, and it's not a surprise.
Really? Do people really want the multiplayer for that?
There's a weird subset of fans that like the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, and it's why?
Yeah, I never see people complain that the game made you play the multiplayer to complete it or do stuff in it or like do important things in it, and that seemed weird to me.
It's like I got your number up higher and for like the galactic readiness number or whatever, but it meant nothing.
Oh, okay. But yeah, look forward to a Mass Effect coming.
I mean, the funny thing is like again that'll they'll release it on like PS4 and the current Xbox One, but it's like, hey, where's the PS5 version? But if those games come out, I'd buy it. Like, I like those games well enough.
Well, and in a lesson of being popular can sometimes make you make the better decision. So Among Us was kind of like this like small indie thing that people were talking about, but like Fall Guys came and kind of, took all that talk away, and then all of a sudden people started really playing it. And because it's something you can play together, especially it works as a great like game you can play on a stream. I've watched Randy and Robert Taylor play it. He's asked me to play a few times. I'd never have time at night to do something like that. But
even Jens is playing it.
Yeah, Jens is playing it. Mm-hmm. And so like it all of a sudden went from being this small game to it's got downloaded 41 million times in just this month by itself. So they canceled a planned Among Us 2 to go ahead and just make more content for Among Us 1, which this is one of those times where something turns into it's actually better. Like just making more content and providing more servers and things like an account system and a friend system and all that stuff. Like I think that's good. That's cool to see that happening in a way that popularity can just mean, hey, let's just update the game we already have instead of making a whole other one.
Well, a whole other one would probably be more expensive to make. And then there have been a few examples where they've tried to make sequels to games that have like really fucked up or like, just fallen.
They try to take things away that made the first one get people loved or.
There was some battle royale game on Steam. I forget what it was, but they made like, this was like right around like when Battlegrounds was being announced, or like it came out, and this was like a little before it. And then people were like, "Hey, I mean, this our game was pretty good, but this first game was good." So they tried to make a sequel that really screwed up the gameplay, and then they quickly went back to the first game. But like by then, fan interest had died down, so I think they eventually went bankrupt.
Gosh, yeah,
and that's the opposite of what you should be doing. Like they should have been building more into the first game, like this studio is doing, not at least a quick second game that kills all interest.
Yeah, see, lessons on both sides there, where that can maybe not work so much in your favor. This is definitely good to see, for sure. And a very interesting thing what took place in that Amazon just like out of nowhere decided to announce a new game streaming platform called Luna. And it's basically like, their shot at doing Stadia, xCloud, of course, Amazon Web Services. My job is using that right now. That's the way that we are able to work remotely, as other jobs are also using that. So like we use the Amazon Workspace. The Amazon Web Service is also used by a lot of people for streaming things and all that. It's the infrastructure. And you're going to be able to, including a Fire TV and other things like your PC, Mac, and apparently iOS, which I don't know. That's I don't know. That's only through the browser, not through the App Store itself, because obviously, Apple's not going to allow that. But we'll see. But the kind of cool thing is you can go right now and request early access if you want. And they do ask you for your download and upload speed, so you need to do a speed test before you finish out filling out the form. And then they're supposed to contact you on a like rolling basis. Just to, I guess they want to have different kinds of people being able to test out the servers to see how they work. So, and apparently the subscription will cost $5.99 for most of the games, but there'll also be channels like Ubisoft will have a channel that will cost a lot more to be able to play their games that way. Well, what do you think? This one have a shot being Amazon, or
I mean, I guess
like Stadia.
I think it's going to be like that more, but they're going to have like some Twitch integration thing, which
That
that'll
helps
probably
a lot.
generate interest. Or they'll have
making it even easier to stream a game is going to help a lot.
Or it'll be like,
don't have to have a console to do that. Yeah.
Or it'll have like, hey, if you want to play this game with me, like Apex Legends or something, here's my room code, or here's my thing. You can just load into it right now with this thing. I mean, that might be fun. I think Stadia tried to do that, but they never quite got it working, and no one cared.
Well, I think what hurt Stadia the most is the stupid, hey, we have a subscription fee, but also, like, a lot of these games are here, like, by themselves, piecemeal, and you're still paying the same price that you would on the console or on PC or whatever, and it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna buy it on Steam then. I'm just gonna buy it on this then.
I think at least Mortal Kombat was like gimped on Stadia. Like it was like a $60 game, but then also like it barely the crypt barely worked.
Yeah, and their launch was bad. Like even Destiny 2 couldn't hit a good frame rate at some points. They made you pay for 4K, and then the 4K wouldn't work. Like and then also I think you had to do the stupid thing where it only worked on Chromecast Ultra.
Yeah,
for a while. Yeah. Like that's just to make sure they could get it out there, and get it in the ecosystem or whatever. And like, I mean, that's cool if you like Stadia. It's a very, very small number of people that do, and maybe Amazon can get it right on the first impression and it helps, but obviously, the amount of people that are still going crazy buying a PS5 or a Xbox.
I think people still want consoles. I mean, that's strike number one, really, is they still want a box.
Well, we still don't have the internet. A lot of places still don't have the internet infrastructure to be able to do streaming only. I mean, that's why xCloud is getting. That's why I think this might do well because it's Amazon. But I mean, also Amazon making games has proven not to do well. So let's see, but. xCloud works because it's tied to Gamepass, it's tied to Microsoft, and not everybody's been able to really use it yet, but also xCloud also has a cost that people don't think about. Like, not everybody has one of those Bluetooth Xbox controllers. You have to buy one of those for it to work, or you have to pay the $100 that it costs to put the things on the side of your phone to make it look at the Switch. Like, it's not this thing where you just plug and play. Unless you happen to have a Bluetooth Xbox controller, then yeah, cool. But that's not the ones that that only came with like certain consoles, so you had to actively go out and seek to buy that. So that's the thing too, is like, if you want it, and that's all you have, then cool, it's like $60, $70 to buy that controller, and then you pay for Game Pass, and the controller's a one-time purchase, so you pay $15 for Game Pass, and then you get to play games on your phone if that's the way you want to play your games. Then cool, But yeah, I just I think people just need to realize that too, that there's also a cost there. It's way less expensive than buying a console, and you don't have to be stuck on your TV. But
it's also a work experience.
yeah, exactly. It's not the same experience you get on
I mean, technically you can do that with PS4 with their, I played like Assassin's Creed, I think Syndicate on my tablet, with their game streaming thing. And it's like, it worked, kind of, but it's not what we would call it an ideal experience.
Right, I've seen, Paris, who does the Gamertag Radio, and he's a big time streamer. He has been showing up on so many other podcasts, because of, Xbox, doing well lately. He was sent over an Xbox, like an xCloud package thing with a really good phone and all that, and he's been showing videos of, I think it was like Gears and, other games working on it, and it looks really good. It works really well. But again, like, you also have to have the good internet for that. So, that's another thing. So, we talked about SEGA earlier. Out of nowhere, a Yakuza movie was announced.
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean, you mentioned that to me, and I was like, yeah, we'll see if it ever happens.
it's apparently between Sega 1212 Entertainment and Wild Sheep Content. What the heck? So, and apparently this is going to be the next, it's like if Sonic did well and they're making a second one, that this is going to be the next game franchise to get a movie, because it's so, I guess, well loved right now. This is a much different well loved than Sonic. I mean, Sonic has the appeal of the kids and being around for. Oh yeah, Could imagine the kids with the Yakuza.
Just wait for the Sonic and Kiryu crossover movie. That if you replace James Marsters with Kiryu.
They could do that, right? If the Yakuza movie did well, they could. Right? Maybe I don't know, or maybe he makes an appearance to like save James Marsden or something. I don't know. That'd be weird, but
he does that pulling off the shirt move, to reveal the dragon tattoo.
I mean, okay. Like, I also worry about this being like, is this going to be good, or is this going to be like doing a live action version of an anime movie bad type thing? I mean,
my thing is, I don't think it'll be made, first of all, because let's face it, there are a ton of announced like movie adaptations, game adaptations to maybe movies that never happen.
Right. Apparently Uncharted is going through shooting right now, so we'll see.
Yeah. Remember BioShock the movie? Remember Joust the movie? Remember, Tetris?
Oh, they movie? They showed trailers for Joust. That's what was funny.
But also, I think Yakuza, I don't want to look that up, but I'm pretty sure Yakuza is like based at least on some Japanese cinema or Hong Kong cinema or something like that.
Well, I mean, how many things that are out in Japan feature some kind of Yakuza?
80%.
Yeah, so it's like, it's not like this is a new concept or whatever. I mean, doing it this way, okay, but okay, it definitely it's very much like Metal Gear Solid. It definitely has the story if you're going to do like 0 to 1 or something in one movie or whatever they're going to do. It definitely has a story to be made into a movie, but it's like, how do you flesh out the rest of what makes Yakuza apart from just the story?
They could do a fairly boilerplate movie about like a Yakuza named Kiryu who gets he's locked up and he comes back home and then machinations happen. But that's not really the spirit of Yakuza. Like if they make this movie, I just want it to be 2 hours of Kiryu slot car racing or doing dumb shit.
Well, he definitely is gonna like have a moment where he goes and does karaoke.
Yeah, or like goes to the Sega arcade and plays Outrun,
Yeah, or like, you definitely got to show the whatchamacallit, where they do the escort.
Yeah,
thing.
Like some of the escort.
Yeah.
Game, mini games or something like that.
Like, where are you gonna put Majima? Where
It'll be like the I don't think they'll put him in the first movie if they make it, but. He'll be in the second one. He'll be like the main villain. Or he'll be like the anti-hero.
It would be interesting. I definitely want to see. Like, I'm sure that they'll have, random big dudes walking the street that like Kiryu that one of them comes up to him and he beats him up or something. Nice. How many of these crazy side quests are they going to put in?
Yeah, every time Kiryu goes in the street, he just gets in a random street fight. Every single time. It becomes like a magic.
Will they have a New Japan wrestler show up to like help him or something?
Yeah.
So
I mean, it might be interesting, but I just don't think it'll happen. Or if it happens, it won't come out in America.
Yeah, or if it happens, it won't like come out to major theaters. It'll be a like digital,
or something you order from like Right Stuff Anime or some like import.
Yeah. I mean, like I could see Sega releasing it. Like I could see Sega releasing it like digitally on Amazon or whatever, where you buy it for $5-10 or something.
Yeah, but it's not going to be like Mortal Kombat or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think it would have to make like huge waves in Japan, and people really, really want it. I don't. Yeah,
they didn't even come out like the Ace Attorney game thing, or the Ace Attorney movie thing didn't come out in America.
Yeah,
for
but
the TV show.
that's considerably less, like, smaller.
Ah,
I mean, and not to mention, like, they had an anime come out for Ace Attorney, like, way after you had the games come out. So, like, you know, anything that would have really pushed Ace Attorney is after, like, the Ace Attorney craze, I guess, you know?
yeah.
But, I mean, that's why certain things stay in Japan. We don't get to see everything, because of, you know, making sure it would actually, do well here.
Right.
But, I guess before we get into our main topic, which I don't really like talking about rumors and whatever, but happen to see one for a direct that people keep saying is going to happen.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny just to kind of show, like, the craziness of people sometimes, like, wanting to like, things to happen and then, you know, it doesn't. But
I mean, some of the stuff I can see happening, but
yeah,
I mean, yeah, going to go through some of it. Feel free.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. But how's play any more Mario 3D All Stars?
Yep. I played. I mean, I think Mario 64. Let's be honest, the game hasn't aged the greatest. Like, I mean, it's aged better than like something like Sonic Adventure, but like some of the. It's a little wonky in spots. But I'm playing a lot of Galaxy. And I played a little Sunshine. And Sunshine is still weird.
Yeah.
Galaxy's pretty cool, though. Although I did one thing last night that ticked me off. I had to catch a stupid rabbit, and the fucker kept running away from me. So, I was playing it. Yeah. I mean, Galaxy's really, really good. I still don't like the motion controls, though. Even as, like, lessened as they are in this version, it's like, this is still dumb. Why?
Does it not feel good, or what?
No, it's like, why are like the menus motion controlled? Like, what's wrong with the analog stick? Like,
yeah,
I mean,
that's weird.
There's I'm playing the Switch using the Switch controller, and it also like loses track of it a lot. So there's like a button on it to like recenter the controller, but like 5 minutes later, it like loses it again. So I have to keep pressing this button.
Well, alright, but that's the small part, right? It's not like constant.
Yeah, it's still good. Like, I'm up to the engine room of Galaxy, which is I think like the 5th main like hub area. I haven't been getting every star, obviously, there's stars in this one. But yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I mean that's a good part. I mean, at least it's really good. And 64 is still.
It's good, but older, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't. Huh?
Go ahead, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, at least like Galaxy and even Sunshine, like, give you a hint about where the star is. Like,
yeah.
64 doesn't at all. So
oh no, I remember that 64. Was
yeah.
Like, well, all right, I'll find it somewhere. Cool. I had to buy a guide for that.
Right.
And playing more Hades. All I've been seeing this week is people just loving on Hades. So
yeah, I mean, I beat it a few times. It's good. Yeah, like it might actually be better than Bastion just because it's quicker. Because Bastion's kind of a slow game. Because you don't have your main weapon's a big hammer that has kind of a wind up. I beat it like 4 or 5 times. It's nice that like. The game incentivizes you to keep playing it and beating it, or, like talking to people, because it's like, oh, to unlock the next like important dialogue with like Achilles, you have to talk to him like 5 times, and it's not it's not like 5 times in a row. It's like, no, you have to like talk to him, die, talk to him again, die, So yeah, I unlocked some of the weapon customization, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah, like I saw somebody posted like Megara. They beat them a certain way with like power-ups or something, and then they went back and beat her a different way, and she like said, "Oh, well, this one I acknowledge," or something like that. And I was like, "Well, that's cool."
So yeah, that's really good. Like, I'd be curious if Yen doesn't like roguelikes, but I think you might actually like this one because it has more of a story, kind of.
Yeah. I'm still like wanting to play it. Just kind of trying to. Get through reviews here so I can spend more time with it.
Yeah.
I'm just really worried that if I buy that, I'll just play that and then forget about everything else. So, try not to do that to myself.
Right. The only other thing I've been playing is Hollow Knight.
Yeah. How are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's good. I'm not a
it's
huge fan of the map system. Yeah, not a huge fan of the map system, but other than that, it's really good.
So you're going to be excited for Silk Song then?
Oh, hopefully.
Well, I played more of the TK Battlegrounds. I'm like halfway through the campaign mode, and
I've heard some gnarly ass stuff about that game.
That game is, let me tell you, that it's just so like, the nice thing that's obviously a benefit of getting a review copy is we got the digital deluxe edition, which gave you the Edge pre-order along with some gold, and the gold that you would have had to spend the money, like you're spending the money for that digital deluxe, which you get that. So it gives you some extra money to unlock some of the characters, because only 20 characters, there's 70 characters in the game, and only like 24 or 20 to 24 are unlocked at the beginning.
I looked at the giant bomb quick look, and it looks like 20 barely.
Yeah, it's 20, and I mean, like, it's a cool little aesthetic of having them like behind. They look like action figures.
It reminded me of that Toy Soldiers game.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly that. And I mean, that's cool in a way, but it's like when half the characters that are on the cover are locked behind your battle bucks system, that's not great. Like, there are a lot of people, you can't even, you have to go through almost the entire campaign to unlock John Cena. Like, it's like you can't even buy him or anything. No, you have to play 3/4 of the campaign to unlock John Cena. Like, it's like, it's a weird decision. Just weird decisions everywhere. Like, created character is gimped by that system because you have the most generic looking. I created a character just to create a character because they have a campaign that's basically the same thing as a campaign, just there's no story. It's so much matches for your created character, so you can earn battle bucks in a different way. But that's the thing, like, everything is battle bucks. So, okay, if you want to unlock a character or you want to upgrade your created character, you got to decide which one, right? So it's like, it's basically pushing you towards spending money. Now, it's going to cost, if you want to unlock everybody, unless you're just a guy if you're somebody that just has money to throw away, and you want to throw away $150, that's how much it costs to unlock everybody if you buy them. Now, I'm not saying it's hard to get battle bucks, and there's daily challenges. There's a tournament thing online that if you do pretty well, you can get a good amount. But it's like everything costs battle bucks, so it's like annoying because to get anything good, you have to do this stupid grind, and it's frustrating because, like, okay, I get that this is probably intended as you can play this with your friends for like an hour and it's fine that way or whatever, but as a single player experience, it just feels like they're just pushing you to buy stuff or unlock stuff and grind through it, and like the matches themselves are not fun because there's only like five character classes and everybody plays the same. So, like, what incentive do I have? I mean, I unlocked AJ Styles and Hulk Hogan and whatever with some of that gold that they give you out of the digital deluxe edition, but it's like, or whatever deluxe edition it is. But it's just like, it's annoying because I'm doing the campaign because I have to, but I don't even feel compelled to continue that because it's like, you play like 4 matches, you've discovered everything about your character, and it's like, you're just going through the motions after that. And then there's no incentive to play as Undertaker or somebody or whatever because Undertaker and Natalya play the same. It's like,
just like in reality.
Like, okay, I get that this is supposed to be like an arcade game, right? You're not getting the full sim experience, but it's like, at least put a little bit more individuality to this almost is like WWE itself. It's like, oh, let's make everybody cookie cutter and make everybody bland. And the entrances are people coming out of a freaking box.
Yeah, I saw that. That looked really funny.
Everybody comes out of the same stupid box. And every entrance is the freaking same except their entrance music plays. And they don't even go to it's not even, like, No Mercy at least went halfway to the ring. This goes to, like, the first, like, you don't even make it past the ramp. You know, it's like, there's nothing that makes you excited about, like, what's the point of creating a character? What's the point of like, half the part of creating a character is giving them a moveset that's yours, that you put into that character. Like, it takes forever to get anything cool that you want for a creative, like, just all the stuff you would want in a wrestling WWE game is just absolutely stripped out here because this was probably like one of those things that they decided with not a lot of time left, which is why they also made it $40 so people don't complain as much. But you're still spending $40 and you're still being asked to basically almost every moment that you're playing that game, it's, oh, hey, you can spend money. Oh, hey, there's battle bucks. Oh, hey, you have to unlock this. Oh, you have to unlock this. Oh, you have to unlock this. It's like, you know how annoying that is? It's like, great, cool. I mean, yeah.
This game isn't on PC, right? Or is it?
No, it's on PC. It's on PC.
Yeah, I would have got that version and just said fuck it and cheat engine my way to all the money.
Yeah, I mean, I got it on a Switch and it's, you can definitely tell the difference when it's docked and when it's not. It's not bad, but there's a little bit of a difference. And then just, I don't know, I feel like this is another line. I mean, this is a little bit more fun to play, I guess, than 2K20, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. It's another line of 2K. We want you to spend.
This feels like a very naked cash grab.
Exactly. That's what it feels like.
Also, I mean, it's obviously a result of contract requirements. They weren't excited to make this, I don't think. I mean, it seems like a mobile game that they just kind of had to quickly
that's what it really feels like to me. Like, this was an idea for something else. If you're going to make a mobile game, make that, what is it? Immortals.
Yeah. Something people actually care about. I mean, that's what I've been saying for years, is I wanted Immortals to, like, be the third the third NetherRealm game. Like, Mortal Kombat 1 year, Injustice 1 year, and then Immortals 1 year, and then, repeat and rinse forever. I think it's funny, though, some of the roster in that game is, like, Ronda Rousey. Like, she hasn't been seen in WWE in a year.
There's a bunch of wrestlers that are not on the roster, like, 6 months ago that are still there.
Like, I think it's
and there's some of the people that are like, and there's supposed to like 60 wrestlers that are coming DLC.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, couldn't change some of them out? Like, okay. Whatever.
Well, hey, man, they had to have Luke Gallows, but not Bret Hart. Like, come on.
Well, they gotta make people, they're probably gonna come in packs, they're not gonna come individually, so they want to make sure they buy the packs. Which, That's another thing. I have normally, if this was a normal, if the game is fun. The problem is, it gets old really fast because there's no point to, like, keep playing as different wrestlers. Because once you've played, like, 2 or 3 matches, you pretty much know everything that an all-rounder can do, or everything that a technician can do, and you're gonna, do the same moves, no matter who you pick. So, outside of just seeing something that says Bret Hart, or Shawn Michaels, one that you unlock in the game, like, outside of just seeing them there, okay, why am I buying it? Why am I spending money on this DLC? It's like, so, it's frustrating. It's just frustrating. And this is somebody that doesn't even watch WWE. I just like, as somebody that likes wrestling, as somebody that, like, loves those characters from those times, like, just.
We all know that, you'll spend money buying Fandango.
Yeah, Fandango, exactly. Just to hear that music again.
Also, the story, I saw like the Giant Bomb quick look, the story sequences are like hysterical.
Oh, the comic book? So, yeah, they're silly. Like, they're alright.
There's like one, I mean, because it's like Paul Heyman and Stone Cold inexplicably teaming up, and it's like, I don't think they even talked to each other ever. Like,
no, yeah, they have. They used to work together in ECW and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like,
but Stone Cold looks terrible. Like, the rendering of him looks like god-awful.
Oh, almost everybody looks bad in that
And it's
game.
like, why wouldn't you at least get, like, Paul Heyman or Stone Cold to at least narrate? Like,
because that would have cost them too much money.
Yeah, but that would have been a lot more funnier. To have,
I agree.
Stone Cold narrating as Jake the Snake Roberts, or something like that.
Yeah, that's that would have been. I agree. I would have enjoyed that a little bit more. I mean, it's fine. Like that stuff is just whatever. Like it's so small when you come down to it. It's just like one page of comics that like that's okay. I mean, it's so inoffensive that it's whatever. But that's actually one of the like I guess better parts of the game. It's just again the game itself is not bad. It's just all the stuff around and even the gameplay is just like, oh my god, why? Okay. So yeah, sorry, there's my rant on 2K Battlegrounds. I probably won't, other than maybe saying I completed the campaign, I probably won't go on a rant again or something about it, but I just, I don't know. I wanted to like it more because I love like those kind of arcade games. It just, this was not it. We have to keep waiting for maybe another WL Stars to come.
And that will never happen.
Probably not, because that would require taking a lot of time and not wanting to actually like just
crap out some game.
Yeah, put out some games so you can microtransaction people to death, which 2K has not proven yet.
Yeah, it's like, have you ever played NBA 2K?
Yeah, Playgrounds I felt was not as bad about the grinding thing because you don't really think about it's just basketball with different people, right? Like I mean, all you have to do is, okay, well, this player hits threes more than the other player, so, like, okay, you just make that attribute better. It's not like WWE where each of these characters is its own thing and they really need to be different. And so, like, that's an easier thing to pull off, and I just, yeah.
Everyone knows that Jeff Hardy and Yokozuna had the same moveset.
Exactly. That's exactly
also,
it.
Some of those characters, I mean, I know it has that, screwed up, like, look to him, or, exaggerated look to him, but some of them don't look right in the first place. Like,
some of them
Yokozuna and Andre look terrible, because these are guys that are supposed to be, like, bigger than life, and they just look like everyone else. It's like,
oh, yeah.
Like, even, like, Kevin Owens looks screwed up, and I was like, what? Like,
Kevin Owens looks weird, Undertaker looks weird, it's like, a lot of them just look weird, period. That being said, let's get into this thing here, just for giggles, about a possible rumored upcoming Nintendo Direct, which is not the first time that somebody said there's a Nintendo Direct coming with stuff, and then that Nintendo Direct doesn't even happen, or it happens like 3 weeks later, or a month later, or whatever, but let's talk about some of it. Also, Nintendo just like shadow dropped Kirby Fighters 2 out of nowhere.
Well, it leaked, and then like some guy just leaked it, and then like the next day they're like, "Oh yeah, here it is."
Yeah.
What?
You can basically choose from a bunch of Kirby's like copy abilities, and then you go against a bunch of his enemies, and yeah, it's like a multiplayer game that you can get on the Switch Online.
Well, yeah, but it has the same busted ass multiplayer as like Mario Maker 2, so it's like, why bother?
Yeah, that's not good. That sucks. But leading that into this supposed, once again, remember Nintendo Direct. Okay, so let's throw out the ones that we know are for sure. Have already been announced by Nintendo or whatever. We know that second Pokemon Sword and Shield, the Crown Tundra DLC, is supposed to come out. They've already announced Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. Getting to see more of that is not necessarily a big old surprise. one of the first things is, I feel like with every single direct rumor I've ever seen, there's always a WarioWare game is happening. WarioWare game is happening.
Although I like this, the title of this rumored one is Switch It Up.
Switch It Up, yeah, that's a pretty good, that's a pretty good one.
They basically come out with a WarioWare game every, one every console, so why not?
Yeah, I feel like people are gonna keep promoting that till it hits, and, let's see. I don't think so, but at least not for this one. If it did happen, I don't think so. A Dragon Quest anthology would be awesome, but what are we talking about? Are we talking about every single Dragon Quest game? I think that's really, asking for stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a lot to all of a sudden put on Switch.
Isn't 8 the one that's PS2, and then everything else is later, newer consoles? Or I don't.
Well, okay, so 5 and 7 have been on the DS. I'm not sure about 6, and 8 was also put on the DS, and then 8 also showed up on phones. For free.
I just have no Dragon Quest knowledge at all. So
yeah, 9 was on the DS, and also 10 was the MMO or whatever, the multiplayer thing.
If they made a Final Fantasy anthology, what would you go up to, realistically?
6, because you don't need to for the other ones.
Well, no, I meant if they were to bundle them all together, I would say you go up to 9, because 10 is PS2. And that's a dramatic.
No, but I don't think they would do that with the PS1 ones. They were already. I think they would just be 1 through 6, Nintendo and Super Nintendo.
Maybe. But at that point, why bother? Because those games are 2 megabytes apiece.
Well, some people would really love to play 6 again, and 4, and even 5.
Oh, an emulator.
I know, but just saying, if they were going to do that, I think that's the ones they would do, because it's also the ones that are from their system that they can easily. That aren't on their system already. So, Dragon Quest Anthology, if that were to happen, I mean, it's are we talking about, as a Final Fantasy song comes on for my alarm? But, Dragon Quest, they already have 1, 2, and 3 out there by themselves. So, are you gonna put up to, 7, and then 8 is where it really kind of changes, and then 9 is different too. I don't know. It's just, I think that's just a dream at that point. Now, could they release 4, 5, and 6 maybe to keep releasing those? Sure, maybe just to say release 3 more in the line of Dragon Quest games. But I think that's also just somebody. Kirby Power Rumble. What is that? Another Kirby multiplayer game?
It'll be the new Kirby fighting game after this one that just came out now.
Fall Guys showing up on Switch. That's plausible. I mean, why not?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, why not make more money?
Probably have something like Mario, where there's all the costuming or something like that.
I don't think Grand Theft Auto 3 is going to show up on Switch. I don't know.
Hackers just got to work on the Switch, so why wouldn't Rockstar want a piece of that?
I don't know. I feel like we would have heard something by now if they were going to plan on doing that.
Also, GTA 3 is old enough and kind of goofy enough to I could see Nintendo not caring about it. The adult content in the game as opposed to GTA 5.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, I just don't. I don't know. I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that they seriously. I don't think they're going to reveal Galaxy 2 right now. I think they're going to wait. I think Galaxy 2 is either going to be a shadow thing, a Twitter reveal, or they're definitely going to wait until after that March 31st, whatever. I don't think that they're showing that right now.
Well, it'd be weird because they announced this thing has a release.
Unless they're going to say, if you bought the collection, this cost way less than if you buy it separate or something.
I think that'll happen too.
Right?
Yeah. It'll be $5 instead of 20, or whatever it's going to be,
or 10 maybe.
That collection is sold out, at least physically, I think, or at least if not completely, a lot.
Yeah, I mean, definitely is.
GameStop, you can still buy it physically from GameStop, but you can't buy it in a store. You have to buy it they have to ship it to you. Because I know the stores are out of it.
which means it could be coming from a store in like Nevada, and you live, in Michigan or whatever. So, Persona 5 Scramble should have had a release date by now. So, especially with you're coming off Tokyo Game Show, that seems, if they don't reveal it at Tokyo Game Show itself here, I don't know if Sega Atlas has some kind of show at some point. Maybe. Smash Brothers, if this is the time you're gonna do Crash as a character, this would be the time, right? Like, right after Crash comes out?
I could see Crash, and I could also see, like, Spyro later on.
I don't think so. I think you're doing one or the other. I don't think you're gonna spend a challenger pack with the way that people absolutely just go nuts about who gets put in Smash Brothers. I don't think you're spending 2 different slots on Crash and Spyro. I think if you're picking one, it's Crash, and then you're going to something else. I don't know. I just...
Like another stupid, ARMS character.
We'll put another Fire Emblem character in here. Really make people go mad. And, of course, the ultimate one is getting another trailer for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, which people have been nicknaming Breath of Evil. I don't know where that came from.
I'm only a fan of that if they switch it and call it Evil Breath. That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah. That'd be weird, but yeah, sure. And, yeah, I mean...
I could see a trailer happening, sure.
I could see a trailer happening. I don't think they're going to call it Breath of Evil. That'd be surprising if they went with that. But, yeah, I mean, if you're going to say this is the last one for the year, which I think that they would wait later than October 8th to do. But, just thought...
I don't, because they have to drum up support, or they have to drum up interest for Christmas.
Oh, but I mean, like, they could wait later in October to do it.
You may not care about it, but I think, like, GTA might drive up some interest. Or,
I don't know what GTA 3 would if you said all 3 of the games together or something. San Andreas, Vice City. And...
they should do that. I mean, why not? But I don't want it to be those god-awful mobile ports either. I want it to be like the PS2 versions.
Yeah, I would hope not, but I don't know.
Well, that's what they put on the 360. They put that mobile port on instead.
Ugh.
And it's like, this is not what I remember. Like,
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some of this stuff seems possible. Like I said, I still think it's going to be later, but we'll...
one of the other ones was like GBA game, or Game Boy games.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening either. I think with as slow as they are about releasing Super Nintendo, and they're not going to do that to also... take forever to release more games.
I think if they did that, they'd have like 3 Game Boy games, and it would be like Mario World 1, 2, and Wario. That's Wario Land, and that's about it. It's like, we're going to play the Game Boy version of Tetris? It's like, no.
Well, no, I mean, like, you could put Golden Sun and some other
Game Boy. It doesn't say Game Boy Advance.
Oh, Game Boy. Okay.
Yeah, if it was GBA, that's a better argument.
I mean, I know that like... Saga 1 through 3 collections coming or whatever. Like, I guess they could do that, but I don't know. Just doesn't...
Here's Final Fantasy Adventure. It's like, alright, I guess.
Well, yeah, like, I just don't see the point.
The first 3 Pokemon games.
You'd be surprised, but there would be people going nuts about that. Getting to play that again. Like, they could definitely do that, and it would... Now, if they did that, that could definitely say that with Crown Tundra. Oh, hey, also, you played Red and Blue, or Fire Green and Leaf Green and Fire Red, as part of Switch Online. Like, I think definitely that would, make some people happy. But, yeah, we'll see. As far as, games coming soon, Crash, October, are you gonna go after that, or?
Maybe. I have a ton of nostalgia for Crash, honestly. Like, it was fun back in the day, but that's about it. I just don't have a ton of history with the series. Plus, they recast. They don't have Clancy Brown in it anymore, so who cares?
Plus, that Mario Bros. 35 also officially comes out that week as well. East Origins coming to Switch too, and that Star Wars Squadrons. Are you gonna?
No.
Get on that? No.
Not in the least.
That comes out as well. And the Baldur's Gate 3 early access also comes as well.
If Star Wars had like a single player option, maybe, but it doesn't. So.
And Ride 4, you don't want that ride game. Yeah, do it.
I played the first one of those, and it was like okay, but I'm like, it just has like no personality to it.
All right, well, I think that's going to be it for us here. I would say thank you for listening, and whether this was your first time or the many time that you've joined us, I appreciate it. And of course, you could always be awesome and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever it is that you listen to our show. And of course, subscribe, because that way anytime we do a show, which as long as everything goes right, we should. That Console Wars documentary did show up on CBS All Access immediately on the 23rd there, which was my brother's birthday as well. And you can go find him on Twitch. Deke23, he plays Crowfall and Escape from Tarkov a lot on there. So if you like either one of those games, go check him out. He's pretty funny as well. It's about an hour and 30 minutes. If you haven't watched it yet, I thought it was pretty good, just in general. And we'll talk about it with Mr. Sean Comer, and I'm not sure if some other people from the Radlich team are going to be on. We'll be doing a special episode for that on Tuesday night. Probably be around up on Wednesday morning. So there you go.
Sure.
Well, that's going to be it for this week. I'm sure there'll be more craziness happening this week as Tokyo Game Show wraps up and we get even closer. We'll be almost a month away from the new consoles releasing, getting into a new era. So, all right. Well, until Tuesday or next time. See you later, everybody.
Later.